Hello, everybody. Welcome to this live today with me,
Hello.
Elzebro the Great. And we have a few amazing things to talk about with you today. The main theme is how the sex and brain connection, the vagina and brain connection. We're going to talk about it from a scientific neuroscience perspective. We're going to talk about it from an actual, more practical perspective of what you can do to enhance pleasure, to enhance the connectivity between your sexual organs, between your pelvic floor and your brain, to ensure health, to ensure um, pleasure, to ensure beautiful connection with your partners, with yourself, with your body, and so on.
With
And we're going to talk
life.
about a life. We're going to talk about a lot of amazing things. One really important announcement. The reason why we are doing this live today is because Elsa and I are collaborating on a new, really exciting project. And we both brought our own perspectives and knowledge based on years of research and experience into one program that we have designed specifically for women. And we're going to talk about it more in the end of this live today. We already run a test run with a group of women. The results are amazing. The feedback is great. I'm going to upload some of the feedback of the other girls on my socials in the coming days. We're going to talk about it in more details at the end. But for now, please, Elsa, introduce yourself and let's dive into the subject.
Sure. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited by this program too. And yeah, I guide women in reclaiming ownership of their body, their sensuality, and their deep wisdom in order to feel fully feminine, to fully embody their femininity. So that's what I do. And I like to think of myself as a Swiss knife of femininity because I have so many tools that I can just pick from to accompany women on this path.
Beautiful. Yes. We have lived together for a while in Kopangan Islands. Your beautiful man is a very good friend of mine for many years. And we know each other on a personal level as well. And also working with you, I saw in action what you can do and accomplish with women, what you can help them do in reconnecting with their own body, with their own pleasure, with life, with their partners. And it's absolutely amazing. I'm super excited to do this with you. Going into today's subject. Um, Yeah, the brain and vagina connection. This is something that is really, it's a vast area of scientific exploration that is just kind of like starting to become more
Yeah.
popular and more mainstream. And at least as far as I know, just until recently, the most um, I don't know, quoted research about sexuality, especially the female sexual response, was by Johnson and Masters that has been done around the 50s. They were revolutionary, no doubt, in like how they pioneered this research and discussion around sexuality. But we now know, based on more scientific exploration, based on more neuroscience and better understanding of the nervous system and so on, we know that what they have accomplished is just scratching the surface of what actually is there, the potentiality of the actual complexity and the beauty and the vastness of the specifically the female neural network around the pelvic floor and the connection of it to the spinal cord and the brain. And so there is so much more depth to it that we now are just starting to discover. I want to hear from you a little bit, kind of like what is on your mind on the subject? What have you kind of like came to realize, both from like a technical, scientific perspective, as well as working with women on the subject, how it all connected?
Yeah, I want to say that it's a topic that is really like even now we're still just scratching the surface. We just received a few years ago the like the full picture of what a clitoris is and what it means, like that the vaginal pleasure is actually clitoral pleasure as well because it's inside of the vagina, but it's like rooted in the same, it's the same organ basically. So only this, like, which is it's the main female pleasure organ, and we just discovered the full the fullness of it only a few years back, which is incredible. So yeah, we're just scratching the surface around female pleasure and what needs to, like, all the different factors that enter in this line of like how to create more pleasure for women. So so I'm definitely not an expert in that topic. I'm definitely not a doctor. But I'm very curious, and I have done some research on my side to understand a little bit what, yeah, the connection to the brain, what it means to have pleasure, the difference between female pleasure and male pleasure, and female are more complicated to understand than male, of course. And so what happens in an orgasm in the area of the pelvis. So you have different nerves that connect the brain to the vagina. You have the pelvic nerve, the pudendal nerve, and possibly the vagus nerve, and they all connect back to the brain, of course, but from different channels. So and they're also wired in different ways for every woman, and this is very important for you to understand. It means that every woman is wired differently in her nerves. There are some nerves endings, ramifications, that are going to be more abundant on the head of the clitoris for some women, on the inside of the clitoris, meaning through the vaginal, like a vaginal stimulation, or in the mouth of the cervix, or around the anus. So this is different for each woman. I want to say, as above, so below. Like, as we all look different from the outside, we are also all different from the inside. Well, it's a bit more linear and more how to say, like, for men it's more the same, but for women it's really very different depending on each woman. So this is also this is already first thing to understand, that every woman is wired differently. So she's going to have a different way to relate to her pleasure, and different sensitivity to different strokes, to different practices, etc. So now when there is an actual orgasm, what happens? It connects to all the specifically, I'm talking now about the pelvic nerve that goes back to the through the spine to the brain. So this pelvic nerve sends a signal, and you can see in MRIs that what is lighting up is the brain of emotions, and as well as the centers of reward and pleasure. So you have a great, like an explosion of different hormones and neurotransmitters that are giving this flush of good feelings inside of the body. And most, like, one of them is oxytocin, which is the hormone of bonding, of creating attachment to your partner. One is dopamine, which is also found in cocaine, in the what you can also get through gambling, through doing shopping. It's really this rush of feeling good about yourself. And you also have testosterone, which leaves you with wanting more sex, with more libido, and opioids that basically make us feel happy. So all of this is a cocktail that if you can get to very deep states of orgasm, and you can light all these parts of your brain and release all of these hormones, leave you in a deep state of openness, of interconnectedness. And it releases creativity. It makes you feel more assertive, more confident. It gives you more a sense of self. So you have these very deep orgasms that when you can get to these states where they light up of the parts of your brain, it actually reinforces your sense of identity, but also your sense of interconnectedness with the rest of the world around you. And it makes you more confident. It gives you more meaning to life. And it's very beautiful because it's basically first of all, it's a very powerful antidepressant, and it's really, like, when you think about it, it's the root of feminine power. if women can tap into that, can have orgasms that make them tap into, and I'm saying with or without a partner, you can get these orgasms with or without a partner. You can for sure give them to yourself. And yeah, if women can get to this, can get to these states where they can trigger this immense creativity, confidence, and joy, it's wonderful, it's amazing. And I'm really sure that most women nowadays are not sensitive to that. It's not what they usually experience in their orgasms, and there are different reasons to that. The like many things happen in the body, like to allow the orgasm, and what can prevent the orgasm from happening is yeah, I forgot to say that in the and when I said what happens in the brain when during orgasm. So also the amygdala, it's the part of the brain that is responsible for fear and anxiety, shuts down during orgasm. So what can prevent you from experiencing such deep orgasms that can give you so many benefits in your life is if your amygdala stays on and doesn't allow you to fully let go into the experience, to fully let go and feel all of this pleasure rushing through your body, through your brain, and everywhere. So so yeah, basically it means a woman needs to feel safe, needs to feel entirely safe to be able to experience these orgasms. And feeling entirely safe means with herself, first of all. She needs to feel safe with her own body, with her own sense of self. She needs to feel safe with her partner, with the environment. She needs to be free of concerns and able to disconnect of anything else that is happening in her life at this moment.
Yeah, I think that a lot of there is a lot of shame and guilt that's, at least in my experience, women have around their body when it comes to the specific way that they need to get pleasure in order to orgasm. Second of all, or if they can even orgasm or not, because many women can't, or maybe some women can do it only with a partner, some women can do it only with themselves, and vice versa. Um, and I think it's a lack of knowledge both on their end as well as on men's end. Lack of knowledge, both scientifically, but also a lack of kind of like inspiration and awe. Because when I saw this kind of content, when I started to notice and to actually research and learn and figure out what is actually happening neurologically in a female's body, how everything is connected, um, and what she senses in her pelvic floor can be from trauma to shame to guilt to immense pleasure and beautiful connection and love, is so influential on the rest of her body, the rest of her life, her well-being, hormonal regulation, the way she senses emotions, the way she experiences other people, how close she can feel with her partner, how incredible her orgasms will be, and all of that tied together to one specific place of the body. I was like, holy shit, you know? Now when I'm approaching female's body, I'm full with awe, and I would love for every man to feel the same thing, as well as for every woman to feel the same thing. So it is like one feeling more a sense of an awe in front of that complexity and beauty. And on the other hand, also realizing that yes, every woman is different, and that's okay. Like the fact that you have your specific experience of how you experience sexuality, of how you experience your orgasms, of what kind of pleasure do you need or don't need. There is no shame around it. You should not strive to be anything else just for because this is what you see in porn, or this is what you think should be or happen to a woman's body during intercourse or during sex, during touch. And actually, most of it is genetically wired, like either genetically wired and then also built over the years based on your past experiences with
Exactly.
men, based on experience with yourself. If you've been traumatized or something like that, yes, that will affect that too. There's so much complexity, and there's just like the
And the
research that,
same,
yeah,
the
yeah,
same that it has been built over the years, you can also rebuild new things.
exactly.
Like I will go in detail more into that later.
Which is the reason for this live. We want to go into details on the practical side of it, both here and for the next couple of weeks, every week, on the live. So let's maybe start talking about it a little bit. So like what's taking into account, if, for any lady that is listening to us right now, sitting at home, looking at the screen, looking at us, and resonating with some of what we are saying like, hey, here's what I experienced sexually. I would like to experience more pleasure, or how can I approach that notion that what I've experienced before and the way I'm wired genetically is influencing how what I'm feeling right now, and how I can potentially unlock some of that and rewire those neural wirings to experience more pleasure, to resensitize my body. So what's maybe before we get into specific details, give us like an overview of the things that are possible in terms of like enhancing pleasure and experiencing more, and yeah, rewiring that neural network.
So yeah, as you said, it's really going to be about rewiring this neural network, because nothing is definitive. Like, you're not broken, you are not damaged, and you like it's really up to you to trigger um, these nerve endings if you are not feeling pleasure. So there is this really neuronal part, which is to really work on bringing sensations to nerves that maybe have not been um, so triggered. So
Yeah.
I cannot find the word I want, but yeah, like nerves that may be a bit forgotten. Like, if you are not used to touching yourself in a certain way, and you maybe go all the time for the same masturbation practice, or all the time for the same positions with your partner, really like awakening all the different nerve endings that you have in this zone can really help you feel more like orgasmic pleasure. And it's not because you don't feel anything at a place that in some part of your like a vulva or vagina, that it's definitive. Like, you can still train your brain to feel. So we're going to see this in more detail with the practices. So that's the first thing, to really like work on sensitizing the nerves, or desensitizing them if they're too overly sensitive and you can get irritated very fast. um, and the other, like the two branches are this, like working on the nerves and working on self-trust and self-confidence, to really like make yourself feel safe in order to be able to open up to pleasure like that.
Beautiful. What do you think about, before we touch in more practical ways on either of these, what do you think about the potential for healing past trauma, past untapped emotions or blockages that are stored in that neural wiring that has been, yeah, that has been going through trauma, or just generally weird weird experiences around sexuality, things that are uncomfortable, unloving, maybe abuse, maybe manipulation, all kinds of emotions that might be stored in that neural network. What do you think about the potential of rewiring that network and doing specific practical things to heal from the past and move forward, more openness and love towards oneself?
So yes, totally. There are a few things that I want to address here. First of all, the vagina tends to store emotions. So in the course, there is a specific video about reflexology of the vagina that really talks about the different, like following the Chinese medicine understanding of the vagina, that it really shows different reflexology points and areas in vagina to really help working either through massage with your hands or with a partner, either energetically in working in releasing these emotions that might have come from sexual trauma, but also from other parts of your life, but just traumas that are being stored here. The vagina is really a place for women that keeps and that holds on to things that have not been processed. And I'm making just a little in bracket here that I noticed personally for myself that it plays out during my PMS and period, when I have lived strong emotions that I didn't take the time to process and that I kind of pushed away during the month. I will feel a much stronger PMS or a much stronger period. So it's really like the womb is storing these emotions. It's keeping an imprint of it, and like I see for myself, it's very like my personal experience that PMS and my period really helped me in releasing and allowing myself to go through these and not store them any further in my vagina. So that's like more on the emotional side. And on the neural side, if you have any damage to the neural network, it can also be fixed. I mean, science is starting to see that nerve endings can regrow even if they have been cut, if they have been really like damaged through episiotomy, for example, in childbirth, or through even taking a position like sitting all day long is one of the worst things that we can do for our vaginas, or through sexual trauma, sexual abuse, or even like a bit of a rough sex. It can happen. So it's really possible to regrow these nerve endings, to heal them, and to bring back sensations and pleasurable sensations. But for sure, when the vagina is traumatized once or many times, it tends to tense up. And I think we will go much more in depth on this topic in the next video, the next live, which will be about painful sex. So basically, the autonomous nervous system, the ANS, tends to raise its level of awareness of stress. So a woman who has been sexually abused will have a level of relaxation that is already more stressed than the norm. So she gets into this contraction of her vagina, contraction of her whole body, and which in turn can lead to painful sex, which in turn leads to more trauma. So it's kind of like a vicious circle that happens that doesn't help her to reach these states of orgasms that completely liberate and open her up. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I used to be really skeptic about anything that is like um, sounds a little bit maybe somewhat of a pseudoscience, you know, like, hey, yeah, you have emotion stores in different parts of your body and so on and so forth. After after reading and researching, not just in terms of like sexuality and the vagina brain connection, neural network and all, but in general, like how our nervous system works as human beings, and how some part of who we are and how we act, and from our manieras to our personality to how we interact with certain, to how we respond to certain situations, is coming from our genetics, and the rest comes from our environment. Like literally, scientifically, what happens to you throughout your life, different things in your environment rewire and shape your nervous system to respond differently to different situations. And so a person who might have been exposed to sudden trauma might be now, for example, thing like PTSD. It's not just something in your brain, it's your entire body is now wired to respond
Totally.
to stress in a completely different way. And this is why it makes so much sense that women that have been through not just severe trauma like rape or things like that, but even an unloving or manipulative or painful experience, even once, you know, that can dramatically influence how, and after meeting women that have, through my work, that told me different difficulties or challenges or blockages they feel around their sexuality, from painful sex to inability to orgasm to all kinds of difficulties around communication, relationships, and sex. And then telling me that they kind of like know where it all started, and that was this an event in their life, or few events in their life, that since then they feel that they closed down, that they cannot open up. And so I used to be more skeptic about this kind of like emotion stored in our organs, in our neural network. But now I'm very much open to the idea, and I think it's as much as it's just research in its infancy, relatively speaking, there is definitely something to dig in there. And based on your work, I would love to hear, yeah, how do you approach it usually? You know, like how, okay, there is unfortunately, sadly, in our culture, 99% of women of females that you ever meet have gone through some kind of sexual trauma at some point of their life. So how do we go about it? Like what one can do? Um, so you said there is rewiring that neural network based on like specific ways of touch, like pussy reflexology or vaginal reflexology that we touch upon in the course that we are just launching now. We've shot amazing videos together about how to give it to yourself. What else are there? What other methods of
Practices.
therapy practices that you can do with your partner or with yourself that directly correlate to, yeah, healing that kind of past trauma and moving ahead, moving forward with openness and with ability to experience more pleasure?
So sure, you have like I think the one that is the most powerful is definitely yoni massage. What the tantrics call yoni massage. It's also pussy massage, and it's really basically uh, going either by yourself, either with a partner, either with a practitioner of this, like a professional of this practice, and really going to like touch inside of the vagina to see if there is any pain points, to see how this pain expresses, to see if there are any memories coming back up, and process this, like give them space, acknowledge them, and move through them, ask them what they need to get some kind of resolution. And I think like this is definitely the most powerful one, but it's also the most intimate and possibly the most challenging. So even before getting there, you can work on self-confidence and self-trust, like self-love in general, like really this sense, like I'm always getting back to this, but this sense of safety that you have with yourself. And it has been a big struggle for me personally through my sex life. I have spent years traumatizing myself, so yeah, it's pretty personal one. And this like building a sense of safety with myself, that I know my own boundaries and I can express them to whoever I encounter, is really was really important, and it still is very important in my own journey on sexuality. So through self-love, like I mean through with these practices, you can do like anything that makes you feel safe with yourself. It can be a walk in nature, it can be breast massage, it can be telling yourself nice things in front of the mirror, gifting yourself nice lingerie, like making yourself look beautiful, making a list of your qualities and abilities, whatever makes you feel safe, really. And um, and then we have then pussy massage that I talked about with yourself or with your partner. And we have also conscious sex, like making love consciously in a way that is not necessarily turned towards pleasure, but more on feeling, like really letting go of any goals and just being present with what is, and with this intention of feeling the subtle sensations, feeling any subtle contraction, feeling any emotion that comes up. And I have already talked with many women, also to get back on what you said on the emotions and different reflexology segments in the vagina. I personally have experienced moments that I touch a point, like with my partner, he touches a point with his cock inside of my vagina, and I burst into tears because it has just triggered an emotion that I don't even know where it comes from, and I don't have any memories associated with it, but it's just here. So it's just this quality of presence and approaching, yeah, this kind of love making that is resensitizing, loving, creating safety, and giving opportunity for these emotions, traumas, or whatever is there to express itself, and to move through you, to be liberated.
That's
So
beautiful. I like this that besides like the specific practices like vaginal reflexology and conscious healing sex with your partner, connecting to heart and doing this kind of practices, it's everything basically that makes you feel better, that makes you feel good, it makes you feel safe about yourself, because this is really how your environment is rewiring your nervous system. So,
exactly.
for example, something that I see happening a lot, both with men and with women that I work with, is that they experience some kind of blockage around their sexuality. For men, it can be erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, general problems with confidence. For women, it can be inability to orgasm with a partner, and so on and so forth. And they make that a problem to such extent that that becomes a stress point in the relationship, and they are just keeping traumatizing themselves again and again and again, like something is wrong with you. So I think the main kind of like arcing idea here is that nothing is wrong with you. Your nervous system and years, 50,000 years of evolution, kind of like brought you to that point that you are at right now. And whatever you're experiencing sexually, that's the most beautiful expression of your sexuality that there is, and that's amazing. And only from that point, we can start to explore, okay, now that we establish that understanding and we have more love towards our um, short sides, towards our whatever is blocking us, whatever is painful to us right now, we're loving that part. And from here, we can explore like, okay, maybe there are some practices I can do to move on, to open up that area of my life, to consciously rewire my nervous system and over time to open up more. And I think that's like the main. It's an amazing point that you can take from here, is that everything is okay. Like your specific way of like, no matter how complicated of the movement you specifically need in order to reach orgasm, no matter if you can orgasm only yourself with a partner, if you've experienced only clitoral orgasm in your life and no other, no matter what it is, it's not your fault. Nothing is wrong with you. Nothing is broken about you, and you're definitely not alone. We're not talking about it as much in our culture, but you're definitely not alone.
Yeah, I think this is the hardest thing actually to get women to understand, is that there is nothing wrong with them. Because I know, like, I've met, and myself too, like so many women that say like, I'm damaged, something is wrong with me, and I am the only one. So I think it's really important to stress this out.
Yeah, beautiful. So regarding, yeah, what did you want to say?
So wait, I didn't finish with the practices, because self pleasure is also a practice, like an amazing practice that you can do to really understand how you are wired and how you respond to different types of stimulation. And it's not only a massage to go look for the painful points, but it can be also like a really pleasurable practice that you say, oh wow, and really like go with curiosity and discover, oh wow, I do feel this here, oh I don't feel much here, would I like to feel more? And really be in this curiosity, like bring back playfulness and curiosity. I think it's really like a very big one, and we talk about it in the course much more in depth. And it's really like the that's the main intention of the course, actually. I think it's to bring back playfulness to
Yeah,
in an area that we can feel sometimes heaviness and pain, and yeah, it's not light. So to really bring back this curiosity and lightness. JDEG is also a good practice for this. JDEG practice, um, like as an internal massage and
yes, there is a lot to uncover, and we are going to slowly unpack those kind of exercises and practices over the coming weeks. And we have, as I mentioned in the beginning, designed an incredible next level program that is consistent of video course that we have co-created together. It's fusion of my content and Elsa's content. It includes a lot of practical information, some of the practices that we just talked about here, like vaginal reflexology. Sorry, I have this word fucking as well as JDEG and a bunch of other beautiful stuff. And
pussy
it includes
massage.
pussy massage, breast massage, and it includes a lot of live demonstrations of all kinds of amazing practices that you
Not
can
from
do
me.
to, to take your yeah, your sex life to the next level with or without your partner. And then also one-on-one sessions with Elsa, and then group sessions with a group of lovely women, also led by Elsa. And it's going to take place over 10 weeks, starting in April 4th. Yeah, 4th?
Third.
Third, April 3rd. And yeah, we will, yeah, if you want to hear more details about it, either send a DM to me or to Elsa. We would love to share more details about that. And yeah, we will continue uncovering those practices under the arcing area of like, okay, sex and brain, they're all connected. Everything is connected. Whatever you're doing in life, so very much connected to that. I don't know, you can call it root chakra, neural network, pelvic floor, whatever you want to call it. Your sex life matters, and it influences everything that you sense and feel and can experience and manifest in your life, period. And the beautiful thing is that nothing that you're experiencing right now is your fault, and you should reject it. It's a beautiful expression of your sexuality. What we are here to do is to help you in these live videos, in every content that I'm posting for free out there, and in the programs that we are designing for people who want to go even deeper and have like an accountability system to actually make a lasting change in their life. Everything that we do is around that umbrella because we understand that what you experience, how you express your sex life, what you experience sexually is how you do everything else. It's such strong correlation. And obviously, I knew that in order to make something as complete as what we made, I would need a partner like Elsa. She's an incredible coach. She's an incredible lover of women, and the work that she has done so far is absolutely magnificent. I hear from the women that have been to the course major transformations, and we will post some of them also on our socials in the coming days. Maybe even interview some of them. We'll see what is aligned and possible. But yeah, I'm so proud of us making this move, and I'm so excited to do this with you. If any of you guys want to hear more about it and potentially feel that this is the right time, there's a fuck yes, that you want to take your sex life to the next level, let us know. And we will help you rewire your nervous system and manifest beauty in your life through your pelvic floor. Sounds great, right? Great.
Through your orgasms.
Free orgasms for all. So yeah, regardless of that, we will continue unpacking that subject in more details, in more practical details in the coming weeks. So stay tuned. We're gonna go live every week on our channels. So stay tuned, attend the events, come here. We're gonna share a lot of epic information. You're gonna also have the chance to ask questions and get to know us a little bit better and see and feel what we are made of. And if you feel there is resonation and you want to work with us, and regardless, you're going to learn a ton of beautiful things about sex, life, ecstasy, and everything in between. So thank you very much for being here, Elsa. Do you have anything else to say to the beautiful crowd?
Thank you for attending. Thank you for watching us either today with the live or either in the replay. And I really hope we can connect somehow on social media. Don't hesitate to drop me a message, a DM, to have a call, even if you're not planning on attending the call and you just want like some listening on what you're going through because you resonate with what has been said. Please go ahead. I'm really here to give you this space. And yeah. Hope to see you soon. I'm really, very excited.
Beautiful. Bye-bye, everybody. Talk to you very soon.